Hi everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Well Wednesday. Tonight we're going to be working with the new stamp set, actually bundle. It comes in a bundle with a punch as well. And we're going to be working with it. It's called the Country Bouquet stamp set, and the punch is called the Country Bouquet Punch. Now you can get this as a full suite and get all of the supplies that are included in there. The Country Floral Lane Suite Collection sells for $78.75, and that would include everything on page 9 in the mini catalog. So you'd be getting the stamp set and the punch, a combo pack of ribbon, some pastel adhesive dies, the Country Gingham Designer Series paper, as well as the Country Floral Lane 12x12 Designer Series paper. So let's start out by showing you this gorgeous Designer Series paper. Just absolutely love it. I know it's hard to see some of this, but this is little hearts on there. This is such a pretty design of the bicycle and the hearts, the flowers and the hearts. And then of course all the backs are just little petite pictures and designs as well, pattern paper. This one is really awesome because it works with the punch. So here is a strip. Let me move that out of the way for a second so I can show you. You actually can line up that Designer Series paper and punch out right there, all in one punch, and get the petals, the heart, and the other little heart. So there's 2 full sheets of that, so you can get a lot of punch outs from that as well. And then there's this pretty hearts and floral leaves, and the other side of that is little hearts. Oh, I don't think I showed you the other side of the beautiful paper that matches the punch with those stripes. And this includes the colors Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink, Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, and Mossy Meadow. So they are the colors that are in the Designer Series paper, and they're pretty much the colors I went with for all of my cardstock and papers tonight. But the Country Bouquet, as I said, is an awesome set. And one of the things I really love about it is this 2-step stamping for this beautiful little heart design right here. And it's so easy to line up, of course, because it is out of the photopolymer. So that makes it nice and easy to line up. So we're going to be using that. And then we're also going to be using the Alphabet a la Mode dies. And you can find those on page 61 of the catalog. And those dies sell for $42. And it's an awesome set of dies. And one thing I love about it is it actually does a lot of repeat letters, so that you don't have to cut out, like, you know, if there's a couple of E's in your word or a couple of A's or S's or T's, you can cut them out at one time. So I love that. We're also going to be using one of the circles from Stylish Shapes, and on one of the cards that I'm going to show you tonight, I also use the Delicate Edges dies. So let's get started with tonight's card. So I have a piece of cardstock that was originally 8.5 by 5.5, and then I scored it and folded it at, 4.25, and then I again did another cut, and I cut off, gosh, I forgot that measurement. I think it was 1 3/4 inches, and I don't think that that's real important. It's not that big of a deal to be exact. And then I also cut a piece of the Designer Series paper from the hearts, and let's see, I believe that is 2 inches by 5.25. So we're going to go ahead and add that to our cardstock. And I like to, when I'm adding, and I know that I have an edge that I have to follow, I lay my cardstock right down on something and then put the designer series paper right up against it so that I get it lined up better. That usually works for me. I'm a little shy right there, but that's okay. I'm trying to do it within the camera, and you know that doesn't always work out too well. So then I have a piece of the designer series paper in the stripes, and they are going horizontal here. And that piece of paper measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then another piece of basic white that is 1/4 of an inch bigger. So that's 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. So we're going to layer that onto there. So I have started my new host code for the month. I do have that right here in the picture. If anyone places an order and it's under $150, I do greatly appreciate using my host code. Of course, if your order's over $150, you don't want to use the host code, so then you can get the benefits yourself. Now tonight we're going to be using the fine tipped liquid glue. And I'm going to be putting out, spelling the word love. And what I did was I cut out the L, the V, and the E with the Alamode alphabet. And then I did the O with the shaped, stylish shaped dies. So I am going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue using my, let's see if I can get this started. I should have checked this because I traveled with it and it's probably stopped up from laying down. Sorry about that. We'll have to go with our liquid glue. And it's just a little easier with that fine tip because these letters are so narrow. But I should have checked that before I started the video because of traveling that late on its side. I'm going to have to stick a little pin in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add little dots of the white liquid glue. And the great way of doing it like this is that you have, oops, the stripes to help you line things up, to keep your letters straight. So we know exactly where we want to go with them. I knew I had cut out an extra one of those, and they were stuck together. Okay, these dies will be so great to use for so many things. It'll be really great with our adhesive paper as well, which I don't think I packed any. And as I said before, I'm doing this while I'm away. And then we're going to put the circle on there. And then I have already stamped and punched the heart, and this is in the Sweet Sorbet. And we're going to use some dimensionals, sorry about that, on the heart, and I'm going to add 2 of them. And then we're going to just put that right in the circle. And then I also have the word I love you, and just cut that down small. And we will also use a little dimensional on that. Actually, one dimensional behind it should work. And we'll add that on top of the heart. And then I have a little pastel backed adhesive dots. That I'm adding 3 to that. And then we are going to layer that onto here. And we're actually just going to use our stamp and seal. And I'm not doing the bottom part. And then it will open like that. And we can put our little saying inside. Now granted, this could be a wonderful Valentine set, but it's also just great to show someone your love. And then I'll show you a few more cards I made, so you can see some other designs. Now this was one of the ones I saw online from some of our artists and demonstrators that did some samples for us. That's one thing I absolutely love about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. There are so many easy ways to get ideas because I'm not that creative on my own. I do copy a lot of, or what we call cased, copy and share everything from other demonstrators. So that's that one. And then here's another one. Again, I used the Designer Series paper. I used the burlap ribbon as well as the real red satin ribbon. And I put those 2 pieces of paper together, laid those down and glued the ribbon to hold it on. You could actually use another base, a white card base here, 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch smaller of your regular card base, and you could use that as a layer underneath. But I just went ahead and did the Designer Series paper itself right on there. And the ribbon covers where they meet together. Tuck that behind it, put it on my basic white card base. And this was punched out as I had showed you using the Designer Series paper. And just added those with some dimensionals. I forget what set of dies this is. I actually received some cutouts from this in a swap, and I'm sorry I don't remember which one it is, but it was a cute little, I think it was a pocket card, maybe pocket card dies. I'm sorry that I don't know that for sure, and it may even be retired, but I just thought that that fit like a real nice cute little tag on there, but you could create that tag yourself very easily. And then another one, this is using Designer Series paper, and this time I stamped with the Sweet Sorbet and the Mossy Meadow. Did the saying again in Sweet Sorbet, use the Designer Series paper, and here's where I used the deckled edges dies. So I had a piece of Sweet Sorbet cardstock and a piece of white, basic white cardstock. Added a little like ribbon piece of the Designer Series paper, just cut, this one's 2 inches and this one is 1 inch, or this might be 1 3/4 and this is 1 inch, and just layered those on top of each other and cut them down to the size of the piece of white deckled rectangle that I cut out. And this is the back of one of the Designer Series papers that has this beautiful little pattern of hearts. And then here's another one that I made, and I'm with a friend this evening who made one too. One of us did the very light petals and one of us did the dark petals. So I just wanted to show you the look of that with both designs. This is the mint macaron, fully stamped on the petals, or stamped off and on the petals there. But we just used a little bit of Designer Series paper, a little bit of cardstock, stamped this heart, and the little sprigs. The sprigs were cut out by hand, just gentle little cutting around them, and made those cards. And of course, we have some matching envelopes as well. So I hope you liked tonight's video using the Country Floral Lane Suite. We will be giving away this card and this card to our winner. And you know how to win on Well Wednesday. You just have to like and comment on the video. As I said, I think this is an absolutely great Valentine set, but it's also a great set to use at any time. And don't forget about those Alamo dies. They are just awesome, the alphabet Alamo dies, to cut out our alphabets. I love it. So thanks again for joining me, everyone. Don't forget to like and comment. And don't forget, it's celebration. For every $50 you spend, you can get a free gift. I did a few more of those beautiful owls. I just love those owls when I did that video on it last week. And here's just a few more designs I did. And that's a free set that you can get with celebration for just spending $50. So thanks again for joining me, everyone. I hope you liked tonight's Well Wednesday, and happy stamping. Bye-bye.